YouTube channel The Girl with Blogs. I am Sana, and today we are going to talk about how to get advanced reader copies or beta reader copies for books that you like. So time to get cozy. I am quite cozy enough. I'm in my pajamas. I have freshened up, and let's just get to it. So I'm just looking at the viewfinder here. So if I look here, it's because I'm looking if the camera angle is correct. I don't know, my setup feels a little weird today to me, so I just can't help it. And I have all the points noted down here so I can guide you all very perfectly. So just let's get to it. So today we will be talking about something that all book lovers dream, like to get our hands on the copies before they are published. So I'm talking about advanced reader copies, which are basically known in the bookish community as ARCs, which is ARCS, and there's also something called as beta reader copies. There's also alpha reader copies, but we won't be talking about those. We'll just talk about the ARCs and the beta reader copies. So I'm spilling all the tea that you need to know about getting these copies in advance. So let's get exclusive. So today we will start from talking about the ARCs. So ARCs are basically advanced reader copies. They are like getting the hottest new releases before it is out in public, and it's basically like watching the trailer to the movie before the premiere, so you have total bragging rights. So what's the point of these ARCs, you ask? So the ARCs are sent out to create buzz like within the community and to get a review beforehand. Like, so if there is like a few errors here and there, so the author or the publisher can make those changes. So who are these sent to? So these are sent to readers, bloggers, YouTubers, or book talk if you are in that region where TikTok is active. However, in India it's banned, so I don't know if TikTokers still do get the advanced reader copies, but as far as I'm aware about the Indian bookish audience, we get copies. Like YouTubers get copies, Instagrammers get copies, influencers get copies, and bloggers get copies. So they are basically people just like you and me to get a early review for the book. So it goes like you read it, you talk about it, you recommend it to a friend. So the book gets more hype, you love a quote from it, you read a quote online. There are so many reels going on with quotes as such. Book lovers mostly read one quote online and they fall in love with the book. So it's like kind of being like a book influencer before the book hits the shelves. That is so fancy, right? So but here's the catch. The ARCs are not always the final version. As I said, there must be a few mistakes here and there. Like, not necessarily, but still, just on the safer side. Sometimes they're missing a bit of that shiny polish that you require to make the book just right. Or there might be a typo or an error or a plot hole. So don't be surprised if you spot one. The publisher or the author or a third person who is giving you the ARC always has this link where you can like report those typos or a plot hole that you feel like. So you don't have to like spam the author or the publisher for it. There is a particular link. But then again, when I say third party who gives you the ARC, it might just be their PR company, not a person like you and me, because that's illegal to do. So you cannot share the ARCs you get, you cannot share the beta reading copies you get. So it's basically like getting a sneak peek behind the scenes of the writing process. Some ARCs have different covers from the final version, which honestly makes them collectible. And like it has that sticker of the arc copy. Sometimes it will have the watermark with your name in it, so that's limited edition, am I right? So these arcs usually come out either in paperbacks or ebook formats. Now for me, most of the arcs I receive are in ebook formats, since most of the authors I read are out of India, so I receive them on my Kindle or my email, etc. um, and depending on how early the author of the publisher sends these arcs, you could be reading an arc months before the release or just like 15 days prior to the release. Usually I get arcs like that are 15 days prior to the releases. There are two more that I'm currently reading that have a lot of time to come out. So if you are feeling ahead in the game of the book world, arcs are where it's at. So then going on to the next topic, which are the beta reader copies. So beta readers are basically the book testers. They are how do I put it? So imagine being the part of the writing process before the final story is out. So you are giving your inputs basically. So I am currently writing a book, so I have sent out my copy to some beta readers, and they are like telling me where I went wrong or this doesn't quite work. So that's where the beta readers come and help, like this won't do well with the audience, maybe you should think of changing it. So they are basically giving you inputs from their perspective about your book. So authors usually send beta copies to a select group of readers. They can be anyone. You don't have to even have a Bookish account. You just need to love books, or just you need a degree in English literature or something like that, so you know the grammar is right and all. So these are the group of readers who give feedback on everything, as I mentioned, plot holes, typos, etc., etc. So from even the characters, if you feel the character is annoying or say pick me or very like morally grey fictional men that you wouldn't love. Usually bookish community people love morally grey fictional men, so if you don't love that, so I think there's something wrong with that. Like, it's just an example then again. So or you could like suggest a dramatic twist, oh that this would be good. So basically you are helping a writer write their book. So you are just not reading the book, you're shaping the book. Now that's so cool to like be a part of. And guess what that means? You get to like see the different versions of book that the audience might never get to see, to make it to its like final release, which is so cool to like figure out that you are helping someone write their life's work. So sometimes the author will either change the whole chapter or the whole character, or will cut out the chapter, cut out the character, etc., etc. So if you read a beta reader copy and you love a scene, it gets cut out, well, you'll be one of the few who'll ever get to see it. Now talk about being exclusive. The best part about being a beta reader is that the authors are often super grateful for your honest feedback, because speaking as an author, I would love to find some insights like, did my readers like what I have written? Like, did they like this scene that I have poured my heart into, or did they hate it? But you are helping them polish their story to perfection, which, so when it finally releases, it's at its absolute best that it can be. Plus, if the book blows up later, you can be like, I better read that book before it was published. So the ultimate book flex. What's up with my mouth today? Why can't I? Oh my god. I'm so sorry if I can't pronounce words. I don't know what's up with me. Maybe I'm just high on coffee. So I should not have had that coffee, but here we are. Now let's just move on to how to get these beta reading copies or arcs. So now that you are pumped to start reading the books early, let's talk about the real question. How do you get them? So, well, here's your roadmap. Step 1, become an active reviewer. Again, for beta reading it's a bit different, but for like advanced reader copies you need to be an active reviewer. You can either review the books on a Bookish app like Storygraph, Goodreads, or have a blog where you review books, or just be a YouTuber, bookish YouTuber who reviews books through a video, or a book podcaster. I don't know, there are so many variations out there. You can be any one of those, but you need to be very active. Um, so authors and publishers send ARCs to readers who have a platform basically and love to share their thoughts on books. So Goodreads is a great place to start if you are like shy about opening a YouTube channel or just talking on a podcast. Um, if you're not like an active reader just yet but you want to get into it, why not review the books you have already read? I mean, that's a great start. You don't need like to read new books to review it. You can just review the old ones for the time being till you get an advanced reader copy. I mean, that's a great start for me. And then the more you review, the better the chance you get at like getting an advanced reader copy. Step 2 is like to find platforms where you could get the advanced reader copy. One of the most famous ones is NetGalley. Even I get a few of my arcs there. So it's basically like a magical portal where you can request an arc of the book that's coming out in the following months or the following days, and from like tons of publishers and authors. But the trick is you need to be strategic. Like, start requesting books from smaller publishers to start with, because big publishing companies won't just give you the arcs unless you are an already established author publisher. That's the sad part of it. Of course, there are pros and cons to everything. One of the cons is you need to be very well established to get a copy from a big publishing house. At least that's what I have come across. But like, start requesting from smaller publishers to like build up your feedback ratio. So there's a ratio on NetGalley. If the minimum they suggest to keep it like around 75-80%, but then you work your way up. So publishers are more likely to approve you if they see you leaving the reviews constantly. Then the next is follow the publishers and the authors. So on social media, basically, don't stalk them. By follow I meant on social media, good god. And so like they're follow them on Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, Goodreads, so you know when a book is coming out. There are on Facebook there are very much how do I phrase it? Wait. On Facebook there are like many groups that are like specific to like getting advanced reader copies. Many independent authors post it like, we need a beta reader, we need a advanced reader, so you can just grab that opportunity. There are, so the authors also announce a lot of ARC giveaways or ask for beta readers. You can slide into their DMs politely and let them know you are interested. They usually have a link in bio where you can sign up for it like without having you to contact them. Then join review teams. There are a lot of bookish PR agencies that help you like get advanced reader copies. I'll link a few down in the description. I do follow a few of them. So that's a great way to get started. These groups that authors create, like these groups that these agencies create, are a great way to start, because most of it is like you get it easily quite compared to the rest of the ways. So yeah, that's about it with that, like how you get it and all. So before we wrap this up, I just wanted to share my experiences with the ARC. So as I'm shooting this video, I have read about 20 ARC copies. I think I've beta read one. I am not quite sure if it was a beta read or an advanced reader copy, but yeah. So like I have like reviewed 20 copies, and trust me, there's quite nothing like getting an email saying you have been approved for the ARC, and it's literally so satisfying. It's the best feeling ever. And as for beta reading, as I said, I think I've read one. So it's honestly very satisfying to know that I helped shape a story. So yeah, that's about it, you guys. So book fam, that's the inside scoop on arcs and beta reader copies. If you are a reader um, who loves being ahead of the curve, and if you want to help your favorite authors to perfect their books, there's so many ways to do it. I just named a few. So start reviewing, sign up to NetGalley, Goodreads, any platform you find, and don't be afraid to reach out to authors, because trust me, once you start reading early copies, there's no going back. You would want to get an early copy. Oh, I need this. So it's an addiction, but like the good kind. So if this video helped you, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to my channel, and if you are new here, drop a comment below. If you have tried any arc, if you have read any arcs or tried to get an arc, how was the experience? I would love to know them. I'll see you guys in the next video.